What's going on, guys? It's Investing Hustler here, and today I'm going to talk about Aurora Cannabis. So I have lots of interesting articles on Aurora Cannabis, one of them being, should Aurora Cannabis purchase Aphria? So before I get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone. I'm going to have a video coming up later about my 10,000 subscribers. I want to just thank you so much. I finally hit 10,000 subscribers. So yeah, thank you all. I don't want to touch up much on that because I'm going to have a video separate just for that. And also before we get started, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and let me know what you guys think about Aurora purchasing Aphria. So we all know about Green Growth Brands in Aphria and how Green Growth was trying to do a hostile buyout or a hostile takeover with Aphria, and that didn't work. First of all, that hostile takeover didn't make sense to me. So how is a company that's not even worth as much as the company they're trying to hostily take over, how are they able to afford that company? It just didn't make sense to me. There was a lot of suspicious things going on with that hostile takeover. But anyways, let's get started. Let's talk about Aurora Cannabis real quick. So Aurora Cannabis is currently up 1.64% today. So they went up 15 cents. Not too bad. The thing that just keeps killing Aurora Cannabis is that share dilution. You see 998 total shares outstanding, 998 million. A couple weeks ago, that was at 960 something million. So it seems like Aurora keeps diluting their shares. What do you guys think about that? And now we're going to look at their price to revenue. Aurora's price to revenue is the 76.71. Price to sales, 165. And there's no more PE ratio because Aurora wasn't profitable in the last quarters. So that's it for Aurora. Let's look at their technical analysis real quick. It's a sell, a buy, and a buy. The 1 minute, it's a buy, and a strong buy. So it's not looking bad. We actually had a fairly decent day today. So the top winner for today was ticker symbol ASNT, Ascent Industries, and they went up 23.81%. The second biggest winner is Nuvo, NUV, Nuvo Life Pharmaceuticals. I think one of my followers in the morning live stream called this out, so that's another good call. And this is another one, Ryu Apparel. I keep saying this is a very volatile company, and it either goes up really big one day or it goes down, and Ryu is up 18.49%. So this is Ryu Apparel, and they were on fire today. Another one is Emerald Health, went up 16.3%. Ticker symbol CLSK went up 15.2%. There was a lot of big winners today. Another one, MDRM, went up 14.29%. Vivo went up 12.2%. Ticker symbol SVVTF went up 12.22%. So there's a lot of big winners. I can't be going through all of them. Solo even went up 7.14%. I remember in my live stream, I have a lot of people asking me about Solo. Sometimes I forget to, or sometimes I just don't have time to do everyone's requests. So now let's go for the big losers. So a really big loser today, 32.32%. Ominto, ticker symbol OMNT, went down. CEI went down 14.86%. That's Camber Energy. LVV, which is Livewire Ergogenetics, went down 11%. And then Cube, which is Cell Cube Energy, went down 10%. So these four marijuana stocks are stepping up their game. So let's just look at the four marijuana stocks that are stepping up their game. One of them is Nabis Holdings, ticker symbol NAB. Hexocorp, ticker symbol HEXO, New Age Beverages, ticker symbol MBEV, and Aurora Cannabis are four companies heating up on Wednesday. I'm not going to read this full article. I just want you guys to keep an eye on these companies because I actually own two of the three companies. I own Hexo, and of course I own Aurora. I was thinking about purchasing NBEV, which is New Age Beverages, because I feel like CBD is going to explode possibly this year, especially with them finally being legal in Canada, hopefully this October. So just keep an eye out for all these companies. That's Hexo, that's NBEV, and that's Nabis Holdings plus Aurora Cannabis. So another one is Tilray, Leapfrogs, Aurora Cannabis, and Canopy Growth in the U.S. hemp market. So that's surprising. So Tilray just made it abundantly clear that it takes the opportunity in the U.S. hemp market seriously. The Canadian marijuana producer announced a move to acquire the world's largest hemp food company, Manitoba Harvest, from Compass Group Diversified Holdings for up to $419 million in Canadian dollars, which translates to around 318 American dollars. This was a smart move. Tilray's acquisition of Manitoba's Harvest appears to be a smart move. The deal gives Tilray an immediate position in the North American hemp CBD market, and the structure of the transaction also works to Tilray's advantage. Tilray is funding the acquisition through both cash and stock, Over 1/5 of the purchase price isn't due until 6 months after the transaction closes. This acquisition is just the latest example of Tilray's deal-making prowess. The company's acquisition of Natura Naturals last month boosted its production capacity in a deal that was part cash and part stock, with much of the purchase price linked to achieving specified quarterly production milestone over a 12-month period. Tilray has demonstrated that it is playing to win the overall cannabis market, and with its entrance in the potentially lucrative U.S. hemp market, the company's chances of taking a lead role appear to be greater than ever. So what do you guys think about this Tilray move? So far, it's looking very good for Tilray. Let's see how the market reacted to this move. So Tilray went up 5.2%, which is a lot more than Aurora did. Currently in the pre-market, currently in the post-market, Tilray is down 5 cents. Nothing too big, nothing to worry about. According to technical analysis, Tilray is a buy, a neutral, and a buy, and a buy. Once again, I did make a video about how I thought Tilray and Cronos were the two most overvalued companies in the marijuana industry right now, and I'm going to stand by that. But these companies still continue to push forward. Cronos went up 2.87% today, and they're currently up 0.13% in the post market. So now let's move on to should Aurora Cannabis acquire Aphria. So Aphria has been battling with allegations over its Latin American acquisition, and takeover talk was ignited after Green Growth proposed bid. Aurora is the most acquisitive cannabis company after its $1.1 billion acquisition of CanniMed and $3.2 billion acquisition of MedReleaf. In my opinion, they did kind of overpay for these companies, but who knows? Maybe they know something I don't. Aurora would benefit from Aphria's best-in-class Canadian asset, would deter it from making a move. At the end of the day, we think there's a decent chance that Aphria could attract interest from cannabis companies around the world. Let's read some of the points why Aphria needs to be sold. We think that Aphria's brand is damaged and small management changes are probably not going to work for this company. From the initial Nuvera insider scandals to Latin fiasco, the company has failed investors from time to time. However, we still believe that Aphria's Canadian assets hold tremendous value. Aphria's most valuable asset is its Canadian operation. We think Aphria's international assets, which were acquired from the questionable Nuvera acquisition and the Latin deals, are of little value. The Canadian operations consist mainly of its production facilities in Canada, supported by its long history of operating in the Canadian medical market and recreational supply agreement with all provinces in Canada. Aphria's domestic production sites consist of the following: 10,000 kilograms of well, we're not going to read that, but personally, I hope that someone does buy out Aphria as long as it's for a good price, because I'm currently an Aphria shareholder, and if a company overpays for Aphria, even if it's a hostile or a friendly takeover, the share prices of Aphria will go up. At that point, I probably will be selling Aphria, especially if they get bought out, especially if I see a huge spike in their share price. So let's move on to the conclusion. As Aphria tries to move on after the short attack, we think sharks are probably circling around this name due to its attractive asset base in Canada. We see Aphria's Canadian assets as highly appealing to potential suitors, and Aurora has historically been an acquisitive company in the industry. We see Aphria's Canadian assets as highly appealing to potential suitors, and Aurora has historically been an acquisitive company in the industry. We see potential reasons why Aurora would want to acquire Aphria, mainly to beef up its domestic business. In fact, Aurora would surely surpass Canopy to become the undisputed leading operator in Canada by capacity and market share. However, there are also reasons why Aurora would not acquire Aphria, especially after the recent scandals that sent shockwaves throughout the business communities. At the end of the day, we think there is a decent chance that Aphria could attract interest from cannabis companies around the world. Green Growth was not the suitor that Aphria shareholders would have hoped, and its bid is doomed to fail. But companies like Aurora would come in and make a serious move if they see strategic merit to a combination. Until then, Aphria needs to remain focused on executing its Canadian business plan, shaking up its management and board of directors, and avoid any more mishaps. That's a great article. Let me know what you think. Do you think Aurora should purchase Aphria? I personally don't want Aurora to do it, especially if it means they're going to dilute even more shares. Like, how many more shares are they going to dilute, and where are they going to get all this money from? Because last time I heard, they only had a $350 million loan, and there's no way they're going to be able to purchase Aphria for that amount of money. So I personally think this isn't a good idea for Aurora, because it's just going to hurt their shareholders even more. But if a company does go and put a serious offer to purchase Aphria, I would be happy with Aphria being bought out as long as it's a fair value. So now the last and final article is Aurora Cannabis, the only 3 things investors need to consider at this time. So the summary is the importance of framing Aurora accurately. Dilution and earnings aren't important for now, and why sales is a major metric to watch. So I'm just going to go straight to the conclusion. Another element to take into account with losses is the fact that Aurora is legally required to report its gains or losses for the companies it holds positions in. The prior earnings report, that was a positive for the company, and in the last earnings report it was a negative. The point is, it's all paper gains and losses, and that needs to be taken into account when considering the impact on its balance sheet. For example, the next earnings reports should benefit from a stronger quarter, and it'll appear losses will have shrunk considerably. Again, on paper they will, but it has no impact on the operational performance of the company unless it were to sell some of its holdings at a profit or loss. Looking at Aurora, framing the cannabis industry where Aurora stands within it at this time is crucial for properly evaluating the company. My conclusion is it should be considered a startup, and in that regard, revenue is a key metric to watch. The fact that the company has guided for profitability in the near future underscores the strong performance potential it has. On the other hand, if it falters in a way with revenue, it could be a sign it's not able to compete with in the market at levels it is believed it could, or the timing of the completion of the production capacity may have fallen behind expectations. I see neither of those as probabilities, but there could be some temporary issues that would have to be solved if revenue were to fail to materialize in alignment with production. And this is a huge conclusion, so I'm just going to leave it at that. You guys can check out this full article, Aurora Cannabis, the only 3 things investors need to consider at this time. I know there has been a lot of bad articles released about Aurora. I did talk about that in my last video. Personally, I'm glad I collected my profits when I did. I'm still a shareholder. I have a small position with Aurora now. To me, it doesn't matter whether Aurora goes up or down. If Aurora dips, I will be more than happy to buy back all the shares that I've sold. If they go up, I'll be holding for the long term just to see how high they go. But that's it for now, guys. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed yet, don't forget to hit that notification bell and smash that subscribe button. Once again, thank you for the 10,000 subscribers. I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye-bye.